Beneath the streets of Paris lies a hidden city, unlike any other. A labyrinth holding the remains of nearly 6 million people. But why were they buried there? And what secrets still hide in the darkness? I'm Professor Carter, and today we're uncovering the chilling true story of the Paris Catacombs. For centuries, people buried their dead beneath the streets of Paris. But the famous Paris Catacombs were never meant to become a cemetery. Long before millions of human bones filled these underground passages, they were vast limestone quarries. The same stone carved from beneath the city helped build medieval Paris, including many of its churches, bridges, and landmarks. As the city expanded, workers dug deeper and farther, creating a hidden maze that stretched for hundreds of miles beneath the growing capital. Few imagined that one day, these empty tunnels would become one of the largest underground ossuaries in the world. By the 18th century, Paris faced a crisis unlike anything it had experienced before. The population had grown rapidly, while the city's cemeteries remained the same size. Graves were opened again and again to make room for new burials. Bodies were stacked on top of one another, and the ground could no longer absorb the remains. During heavy rain, parts of the cemeteries flooded, carrying decay into nearby streets and homes. The smell became impossible to ignore, and many doctors feared the overcrowded burial grounds were contributing to deadly diseases. No cemetery represented this disaster more than Les Innocents. For nearly 1,000 years, it had served as the primary burial site for Paris. By the late 1700s, it held the remains of millions of people, packed into a relatively small area. Witnesses described walls collapsing under the pressure of mass graves, exposing human remains to the open air. In one well-documented incident, the wall surrounding the cemetery gave way, sending decomposing bodies into the basement of a neighboring property. Public outrage forced city officials to admit that the problem could no longer be ignored. The solution was unlike anything France had ever attempted. Instead of building another cemetery, officials decided to move the remains of the dead into the abandoned limestone quarries beneath Paris. In 1786, after religious approval and careful planning, workers began transferring bones from overcrowded cemeteries into the underground tunnels. The process took place mostly after sunset. Covered wagons traveled quietly through the streets, while priests accompanied each journey, turning what could have been a simple relocation into a solemn ceremony, honoring those who had died centuries earlier. The transfers continued for decades. One cemetery after another was emptied, and the remains of ordinary citizens, soldiers, nobles, artists, and victims of epidemics all found a new resting place beneath the city. Historians estimate that nearly 6 million people were eventually moved into the tunnels. At first, the bones were simply stacked in large piles. Later, engineers and inspectors carefully arranged skulls and femurs into orderly walls and patterns, transforming the underground chambers into something both respectful and deeply unsettling. Today, only a small section of this enormous underground network is open to visitors. The official route covers just over a mile, while the hidden tunnels stretch for nearly 200 miles beneath Paris. Beyond the tourist path lies a vast labyrinth of sealed passages, forgotten chambers, and unexplored corridors. Most people walking through the streets above have no idea that directly beneath their feet rests one of the largest collections of human remains on Earth, a silent city of the dead that still guards countless secrets waiting to be uncovered. Descending into the Paris Catacombs begins with a long spiral staircase that leads nearly 65 feet below the streets. As the daylight disappears, the air grows cooler, quieter, and heavier. The noise of one of the world's busiest cities fades into complete silence. Then, carved into a stone archway, visitors are greeted by a chilling inscription in French. "Stop. This is the Empire of the Dead." Beyond that point, every step leads deeper into a place unlike anywhere else on Earth. The first chambers appear almost ordinary, with rough limestone walls and narrow passageways. But within moments, the tunnels transform into something unforgettable. Thousands of human skulls stare back from carefully arranged walls, while countless leg bones are stacked into perfect rows stretching far into the darkness. These are not random piles of remains. Every pattern was intentionally designed during the early 19th century, turning a practical burial site into a haunting monument that reminds every visitor of life's fragile nature. Although millions of bones fill these tunnels, they do not belong to a single generation. They are the remains of people who lived across hundreds of years. Among them were merchants, craftsmen, children, priests, soldiers, nobles, and victims of disease. Some may have witnessed the construction of Notre Dame Cathedral. Others lived through the Black Death, while many died during the French Revolution. Above ground, history unfolded through wars, revolutions, and changing governments. Below ground, those differences disappeared forever, leaving only silent reminders that every human life eventually reaches the same destination. Yet the catacombs hold far more than neatly arranged bones. Beyond the public route lies an enormous maze of restricted tunnels that few people are legally allowed to enter. Hidden behind locked gates are abandoned quarry rooms, flooded passages, forgotten staircases, and chambers that have remained untouched for generations. The network is so vast and confusing that even experienced explorers rely on detailed maps, because taking a single wrong turn can lead into miles of nearly identical corridors with no obvious way back. Despite the dangers, a secret underground community known as the Cataphiles continues to explore these forbidden passages. Using hidden entrances scattered throughout Paris, they slip beneath the city to discover places few people have ever seen. Over the years, they have uncovered underground art galleries, meeting rooms, murals, hidden workshops, and even spaces where concerts have quietly taken place. Their discoveries have fueled endless curiosity about what still remains undiscovered beneath Paris, raising one question that has fascinated historians and explorers alike. If so much has already been found, what secrets are still waiting in the darkness? One of the most astonishing discoveries beneath Paris came in 2004, when French police entered a restricted section of the catacombs during a routine inspection. What they expected to find were illegal explorers. Instead, they stumbled upon something that seemed impossible. Hidden deep inside the tunnels was a fully functioning underground cinema. There was a large movie screen, a projector, electrical wiring, a sound system, and rows of seating carved into the ancient stone. Nearby, officers also found a small kitchen and what appeared to be a restaurant-style dining area. No one could explain how such an elaborate space had been built without attracting attention. The mystery only deepened a few days later when police returned with a larger team. The entire setup had vanished. The projector, furniture, cables, and equipment were gone, leaving almost no trace behind. According to several reports, a handwritten message remained behind that simply read, "Do not try to find us." The identity of the people responsible was never officially confirmed. Some believed they were members of the Cataphiles, while others suspected a highly organized underground group that knew the tunnels better than anyone else. The catacombs have also claimed lives. The most famous tragedy dates back to 1793, when a hospital doorkeeper named Philibert Aspairt entered the tunnels, reportedly searching for a hidden cellar connected to a nearby monastery. Somewhere inside the endless maze, he lost his way. With no light, no map, and no clear exit, he wandered until he died. His body was not discovered until 11 years later, identified only by the keys and clothing he still carried. Today, a small memorial marks the area where his remains were found, serving as a chilling reminder that the catacombs can be just as deadly as they are fascinating.
Even in modern times, experienced explorers occasionally become trapped underground. The tunnels are filled with identical passageways, hidden intersections, collapsed routes, and sealed entrances. GPS devices do not work beneath the thick layers of stone, and phone signals often disappear completely. Rescue teams have responded to numerous cases of people becoming lost for hours or even days before finally being located. These real incidents have only strengthened the catacombs' reputation as one of the most dangerous underground labyrinths in the world.
But for many visitors, the greatest mystery isn't getting lost, it's what they claim to experience in the darkness. Some report hearing distant footsteps when no one else is nearby. Others describe whispers echoing through empty corridors, sudden drops in temperature, or the unsettling feeling that someone is silently following them. While there is no scientific evidence proving paranormal activity, these stories continue to spread from one generation to the next. And as investigators have discovered, sometimes the most disturbing mysteries beneath Paris are not the ones people imagine, but the ones that have actually been caught on camera. Over the years, the Paris Catacombs have inspired countless stories online, with videos claiming to show unexplained figures, strange voices, and shadows moving through empty tunnels. Most of these recordings have never been verified, and many experts believe they can be explained by poor lighting, echoes, or simple camera distortion. Yet, the catacombs have a way of playing tricks on the human mind. In complete darkness, where every sound bounces off ancient stone walls, even experienced explorers admit that fear can make ordinary moments feel terrifyingly real. Scientists and psychologists offer another explanation for the unsettling experiences reported underground. The tunnels are cold, damp, and almost completely silent. There is no natural sunlight, very little fresh air in some areas, and endless corridors that all look nearly identical. These conditions can create stress, anxiety, and a distorted sense of direction. Studies have shown that isolation, darkness, and unfamiliar surroundings can cause people to misinterpret sounds or believe they have seen movement where none actually exists. In other words, the greatest challenge inside the catacombs may not be ghosts, but the human brain itself. Because of these risks, French authorities strictly control access to the catacombs today. Only the official visitor route is open to the public, while the rest of the underground network remains closed. Entering restricted areas without permission is illegal, and police units regularly patrol known access points. These officers are specially trained to navigate the maze, rescue lost explorers, and protect a site that holds both historical and cultural significance. Their mission is not only to enforce the law, but also to preserve one of the world's most extraordinary historical landmarks. Today, the Paris Catacombs attract hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. Some come to study history, others to admire the remarkable engineering beneath the city, and many simply want to witness one of the most unusual places on Earth with their own eyes. What began as abandoned limestone quarries eventually became the final resting place for nearly 6 million people, transforming a forgotten underground network into one of the world's most unforgettable historical sites.